Some breaking news again this morning on the Cowboys Report. Christian Matthew, the cornerback, is signing with the Dallas Cowboys per ESPN's Adam Schefter. Following a workout Monday evening, we'll break down the other workouts, just who Christian Matthew is, since he's not a household name at all, and what other corresponding roster move the Cowboys are going to have to make. Before we dive into that, look, news happens, we got you covered here. And, whether it's late at night, early in the morning, we have you covered on the Cowboys Report. Hit that sub button for me, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Cowboys making the move while the rest of the Oxnard crew is honestly probably asleep, to be quite honest there. So Christian Matthew out of Valdosta State has the size the Cowboys always like at the cornerback spot. Also did briefly overlap with Matt Eberflus in Chicago. He's played in 20 career games, the majority of those snaps coming on special teams to an extent. Has had some starts. He did get some starts early in his career with the Arizona Cardinals. Broke up 3 passes with them. Matthew won the workout, so to speak. 4 different players worked out. Christian Matthew, Thomas Graham Sr. These are all per Todd Archer. Todd did say it was Harris hand. I'm pretty sure he means Harrison hand. I don't know of a Harris hand in the NFL. So I'm pretty sure he meant Harrison hand. And Christian Holmes. All but Holmes actually did briefly overlap at some point with Matt Eberflus in Chicago. Matthew had kind of a journeyman-esque career. Began at Georgia Southern, was there for several years. Then transferred to Samford for 2 years. Then made the move to Valdosta State for 2 years. They're called doctors, by the way. A long college career. Did get himself drafted. I went back and looked at my notes to see if I had any draft notes on Christian Matthew. I did not. He was too deep into the depth on that class. I did not have any notes on him. I went and looked at Dane Brugler's draft guide from that year. He didn't have any notes on him either. But he was drafted. Spent his first 2 years with the Arizona Cardinals. Bears picked him up in 2023. Did not bring him back after this practice squad contract expired. Ravens had him for part of 2023 and 2024, and then didn't bring him back this past season. Matthew, over the course of his career, did have 20 games played in coverage. 21 targets, by the way. 14 receptions. 158 yards. 0 touchdowns. But he did break up 3 passes. 0 touchdowns allowed, I should say, on that front. This is very much a journeyman type of player who, I think if you're looking for, hey, is this going to fix our cornerback hole? My answer is no. This is not going to be someone who actually fixes and addresses your issues in the secondary. It's not how it's going to be for him. But you're banged up right now. You got 3 guys on PUP/NFI list. You have some additional players who are not 100% either. This is bottom of the roster type of shuffling and movement. So be honest with me. Had you heard of Christian Matthew before today's video? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comment section, the pinned comment of today's video. Like I just mentioned, this is a bottom of the roster type of signing. It is not even trying to fix any potential concerns you might have at the top of your cornerback depth chart. This is you're trying to get through the remainder of training camp in Oxnard, maybe a preseason game or 2, until you have to start cutting guys. Right now, DaRon Bland back, didn't do team drills yesterday, back with the birth of his kid. Trayvon Diggs on the PUP list. We'll see when he gets back. Kyer Elam has been a nice find so far for the Cowboys. Savone Revel is on the NFI list. Kalen Carson is banged up. Izzy Mukwamu is healthy. Andrew Booth actually had a couple good days. Now he's banged up. So all of a sudden, your purely healthy corners are thin because Revel's on the NFI list. You probably saw that clip of him working out. Didn't look great. Other ones look better. I don't know what his return status is. We'll talk about him in a minute. Trayvon Diggs, I still don't think is going to be ready for week 1. Josh Butler won't be. I don't have details yet on the injuries for Andrew Booth and Kalen Carson. They just didn't practice yesterday. Booth went through individual stuff and then left early. But that's 5 corners. That gets you real thin, real fast. If you're missing guys, if we can go back to that depth chart here, Producer Chris, you kind of don't have the bodies you want to have available. Because now your other guys are DaRon Bland, Kyer Elam. But at this point, are you going to play those guys in the preseason? You're definitely not going to play DaRon Bland. Can you play Kyer Elam? So then you go from, okay, you still don't have Josh Butler. If Carson's not healthy, if Booth isn't healthy, All of a sudden, you're down to Izzy McQuamu, Troy Pride, Bruce Harmon, Kamon Hall, Robert Rochelle. And all of a sudden, your corners that potentially could be available for week 1, again, Booth and Carson, we'll see it, but hopefully they are available for the preseason. You have 4. You're going to play Mike Smith some in the nickel, okay. You just don't have the bodies, depending on the severities of Carson and Booth. But also, I don't want to overreact, and this is just me mentioning it. When does Savone Revel come back? I think the last update was maybe still 2 weeks away, which at that point he's not going to be available in week 1, and it starts to get very thin very quickly. Today's show is made possible by Ethos. As a father with 1 kid and a second one on the way, trust me when I say life insurance matters. It's not fun to think about what would happen if something happened, but you do need to be prepared. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL daily. That's ethos.com/NFL daily. Ethos is an online platform that makes getting life insurance fast and easy to protect your family's future in minutes, not months. There's no complicated process. It's 100% online. No medical exam is required. You just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL daily. That's ethos.com/NFL daily. Links in the comments section and in the description of today's show. Appreciate Ethos sponsoring us here on the Cowboys Report. So Christian Matthew coming aboard as a back-of-the-roster type of corner who very much fits the classic Cowboys archetype at corner. This is from the NFL Combine and Pro Day testing. Shout out to my guy at MathBomb on Twitter and Blue Sky, whatever. 6'2", 195, 6'2" and change, 41.5-inch vert, which is the actual vert, not the fake one that Luka had. 4'5", 40-yard dash, 7'2", 3-cone. He's not great agility, but he's long. He's got 33.5-inch arms, and the Cowboys just love that. They always love a long-arm corner. This is their archetype. Runs around a 4.5, good explosive ability, tall, long, lanky, relatively speaking, very athletic. Again, 8.49 on the RAS score. A little stiff. He's not going to be a nickel corner, but he's an outside guy who I think probably has no chance, realistically, at making the Cowboys 53-man roster, but could impress and carve out a practice squad spot. That's certainly possible, but there's no guarantee. Now, of note, and as of filming, the Cowboys have not leaked, announced, revealed any corresponding roster move. There's going to have to be one. You have to make room for somebody to add Christian Matthew to your roster. We'll know at some point over the course, probably by 5 p.m. Eastern time. So predictions, and we'll do either a short or a full video on this depending on what the news is. Who will the Cowboys end up cutting? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Who do you think the Cowboys end up cutting? I've got some names we can mention here. The first answer is the easiest. You could just cut another corner. Now, that probably means you feel good about some combination of Booth and Carson and Revel or Diggs, I guess, being healthy soon. We haven't heard the name Bruce Harmon very much so far at Cowboys training camp. He didn't get that big of a signing bonus. Troy Pride's gotten work with the ones. Is Robert Rochelle impressing, who they picked up a while ago at corner? That's one to keep an eye out for. You could put someone on IR. That would end their seasons. So if there's some severe injury, Robert Jones, 2 to 3 months, wouldn't be a great IR candidate, but that would allow you to create a roster spot and make room for Christian Matthew. I think you have an extra receiver available to cut if you wanted to. Lamb and Pickens and Tolbert and Turpin and Mingo are all going to make the roster. Paris Campbell's a bit nicked up right now. Jalen Cropper got some work with the ones because he's always a camp darling. Just Trayshawn Holden is like no guaranteed money. Just Josh Kelly, Kelvin Harmon. Did they do enough yesterday to keep their spots? They got some run yesterday. That's at least an option. Then one other player I'll make note of. I always feel bad mentioning players. Hey, make a cut because that kind of sucks. Ernest Brown IV along the defensive line. I feel like he's just kind of buried behind everybody else. Like, is he an edge? Is he a defensive tackle? You have enough light bodies. You're also super thin along the defensive line. Then again, you're going to play Mozzie Smith in the preseason. So, like, that's not necessarily a bad thing either. If they view him as an edge, I definitely don't think you need him. Like, I think you can just move on. If they view him as more of a defensive tackle, I got him on the edge depth chart now just for numbers reasons. That probably would end up being okay. So the news of the day, Christian Matthew signing with the Dallas Cowboys. He worked out for the team on Monday. This is a back of the roster signing. If you're going, this doesn't fix my cornerback hole, you're right. They're not trying to fix the actual 53-man roster corner hole. This is to help them get through the remainder of training camp, the remainder of the preseason. Maybe he carves out a practice squad spot, but this is just the ultimate camp body signing by the Dallas Cowboys.